on X, there's this site called Earnhardt Archives, and it shows me with Tony Uri Jr. at Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s old shop. It's still there. They call it the Deer Head Shop because most of the deer that Earnhardt shot, he put their heads on the wall. But anyway, how did I get approved to go to Daytona? Well, Dale Earnhardt Sr. has everything to do with it. So I was running ASA, the American Speed Association, in 1986, 87, 88. And I got a call from my brother Rusty. And it really just went like this. Herman, you helped me my whole life make it to NASCAR, and now I want to help you. That's pretty big. My brother Rusty, I've made it famous. I love my brother Rusty and my wife, my children. I tell them all the time, always be good to Uncle Rusty. We owe him our life. So Rusty decides he's going to start me an Xfinity team. And we had sponsorship, Cox Treated Lumber out of Orangeburg, South Carolina. But NASCAR would not let anybody just show up to Daytona at the start of the year and start the race. So Rusty and Earnhardt get together. Now, Earnhardt always liked me because Dale Sr. raced me in St. Paul, Minnesota in the ASA race. He just got a big kick out of it because Earnhardt remembers me as a crew chief. Now, follow this timeline. In 1984, I was a Winston Cup crew chief for Joe Ruttman in the Levi Garrett car. That was in 84. I moved back to St. Louis, became a race car driver, 86, 87, 88. So November of, October, November of 88, Rusty and Dale Sr. put a deal together, and I go to Martinsville, and I drive Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s Xfinity car, the number 8. So I was always around Senior. I'll never forget it. Flew out of St. Louis, had my seat with me, sent my seat down there, put my seat, I think I only had one seat, put that in Earnhardt's car. That was the one down there off, in Kannapolis, North Carolina, at his mom Martha's house on V8 Road. She lived on a road called V8 Road, a V and an 8. Maybe they did that for Ralph, Earnhardt's dad. So anyway, I'm not saying there's plenty pictures out there, but there's a picture out there, and there's pictures. So I ended up running Martinsville, and I think I ran 12th, maybe something like that, or maybe a little better. My very first race, and it was a hell of a time. It was one of the happiest times of my life. But I will tell you this right now. Right now isn't the happiest time of my life. I'm living my very best life right now. So NASCAR watched me run Martinsville. They said, hey, okay, the kid can drive. He's a good racer. And it was funny because Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Rusty were both spotting for me that day. Now imagine your very first Xfinity race ever, and you got Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Rusty spotting. Earnhardt's going, drive the hell out of it, Herman, you're looking good. And Rusty's going, don't wreck it, easy now. So I remember we changed the motor the day before because there was a small oil leak. And there's Earnhardt up in the motor compartment with his cowboy boots. And man, now that I look back at it, what a time that was. I was just too focused, to realize, man, Dale Earnhardt, and Earnhardt became a god, and has pretty big story. So anyway, that was October, November of 88. You'll know, respond right here. You'll tell me my results from Martinsville. And so in 1989, I went to Daytona. And can you believe It's a Cinderella story. Quick time. Kenny Wallace sits on the pole. His first time ever at Daytona. And man, I led the first so many laps, and then it was a V6, but I lost a damn cylinder. Broke a rocker arm, something like that, later in the race. But finished 10th. Finished 10th in my very first Xfinity race ever at Daytona. In the number 36, green and white, Cox dry treated lumber. They took lumber and they infused it with this green substance and made it durable for ocean use. So anyway, those were wonderful times, and that's how I made it to NASCAR. I had to run a race. NASCAR watched me. NASCAR approved me, and that was Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt Sr. So thankful to those two. I had the two most famous race car drivers in the world at that time. Yes, the world. I mean, back in those days, there was nobody, even in Formula One, nobody more famous than Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Rusty Wallace. And I'll never forget that day at Martinsville.